Good morning, good morning. I hope you are doing well. So my name is June Allen. I am a trauma therapist and I'm the founder of The Art of Greatness at juneallen.net. So it's nice to be back. I had a little bit of I had a mini sabbatical. It was my birthday a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, I just wanted to practice what I preach and just take some time off, just to chill and really look after myself. So I didn't go anywhere. I didn't go abroad or anything, but I used it as an opportunity to rest and just reflect on the year really, and just reflect on what's been happening for me over the last over the last year and stuff. So it was really nice, and thank you all so much for your messages and everything. And I've still got loads of messages that I need to go through, so bear with me while I go through my DMs and stuff like that, because I've noticed today I've got loads. So yeah, so today I wanted to jump on and just remind you that you are sacred. Okay, I want to jump on and remind you that you are sacred. There's so much going on in the world at the moment, which is very painful. There's always lots going on in the world, but sometimes, there are times when it just feels more intense more than other times. Um, and also, as black women as well, there's a lot of stuff going on at the moment. There's all the stuff going on with the I'm a celeb stuff. I'm not going to go into detail about all of that, but if you want to know about it, obviously you need to just log on and you'll see it, whether it's TikTok or here or whatever. So there's all of that going on. There's the stuff that's been going on with Madame Joyce as well. And black women have been are taking a bit of a battering at the moment. So yeah, I've been trying to hold my boundaries around, not getting too involved in a lot of it, but at the same time, I just wanted to jump on and just remind you that you are sacred and that you don't have to internalize all of that stuff. So, I've just written down a few bullet points and I just wanted to share some things with you that are kind of linked to that. But before I do that, I'm just gonna rattle off just a little bit of housekeeping that I have. So, just a few events that are happening at the yard at the moment. Hi, hello everyone. Thanks for joining. It's been so long since I've seen you. Hi, Amber. Lovely to see you. Um, so yeah, so on the 9th of December, which is next Saturday, I have an in-person half-day retreat called Heal and Chill. Okay, so the Heal and Chill sessions are the half-day retreats that I do that are split into two workshops or two sessions. The first session is normally a theme where we explore something. And we do like a healing circle, and you get an opportunity to unpack something. So the one that's happening next Saturday is all around Christmas. And a lot of us struggle at this time of year. A lot of us, obviously this time of year is, a lot of people are happy about it, they're going to be seeing family and all the rest of it, but I always make a point at this time of year to really advocate and share a lot of content for those people that find this time of year difficult. It can be very painful for a lot of people. A lot of people don't have connections with family and stuff like that, and so it can be a very isolating time of year. It can be very painful. So what I'm going to be doing next Saturday is the first workshop. We're just going to be talking about how you can create a nurturing or plan a nurturing time for yourself. We're going to look at the challenges. We're going to explore the difficulties that you have around this time of year. Whether you celebrate Christmas or not, it doesn't matter. It's about creating a space and time for you over the holiday period that's really going to nurture you. So we'll do that in the morning as the first workshop, and then in the afternoon we're going to be having some fun. So it's going to be like playtime. We're going to be doing some retro games. So if you want to come and play Jacks, or you want to come and play Connect Four, or you want to come and play with some black Barbies or whatever it is, there's going to be different stations that are going to be set up in the afternoon, to be able to come and do that. So if you're interested in joining me for the Heal and Chill session, which is a Kwanzaa inspired event about nurturing yourself over the holidays, you can click the link in my bio. Go to heal.juneallen.net. That's heal.juneallen.net. That's heal.juneallen.net. That's going to be held in London, in Brixton. Okay. So the other thing that I wanted to share is that the Sacred Sister Sanctuary, the monthly membership that I also have, there's going to be a session that's going to be happening next Tuesday, which is all going to be about Umoja in sisterhood. Okay, so unity, Umoja means unity, so unity in sisterhood. So we're going to be exploring, black women and relationships and sisterhood, what that means. What is your current circle like at the moment? Is it nourishing? Is it reciprocal? We're going to be talking about all of that. So you can use the space to either, that's the theme, but you can also use the space to come and get current on stuff that's been going on in the world. What I've learned, something that I've learned from my clients is, yes, they love the themes and stuff that I do, so we can get focused on a topic. But sometimes people just need a space just to be able to vent and just talk about what's going on in the world. So there's going to be the opportunity to do that as well. So again, you can click the link in my bio and join us for the Sacred Sister Sanctuary. That's an ongoing membership. The session for that is once a month, live session once a month. You also get access to an amazing virtual library. So the details of all that, you can find that in my in the link in my bio. Right, so that's the housekeeping out of the way. So for those of you that have just joined, I'm going to get into the content now. For those of you that have just joined, my name is June Allen. I'm a trauma therapist, business coach, retreat facilitator, and I'm the founder of the Art of Greatness, which is a wellness institute for predominantly for Black women. So today, today's content is really about you being your sacred self and just reminding you that you are sacred. Okay, so if you're feeling disconnected, we all have a sacred self. Okay, we all have a sacred self, but a lot of us are disconnected from it. Yeah, a lot of us are disconnected from it. Maybe you grew up in a house that was dysfunctional. Maybe you grew up in, you grew up in an environment that was abusive. Maybe you've been in abusive relationships. Maybe you've been in friendships or whatever that are dysfunctional. Whatever the case may be, when we are, and even just living under the system of racism, to be honest, living inside a system of oppression, we can get disconnected from our sacred self. We can get disconnected from the part of ourselves that is connected to the universe, our higher self, God, however you understand it. Yeah. So in order to reconnect to that part of ourselves, we have to give ourselves permission to pause and ask ourselves, who are you being right now? Who are you at the moment? Who are you? Do you know who you are? Have you lost sight of your values? Have you felt disconnected from your body? Are you feeling disconnected from your core self? Do you find yourself always kind of externalizing your worth, trying to get your validation and whatever from other people? These are all characteristics of what it means when you're disconnected from your sacred self. Your sacred self is not out there. Your sacred self is not connected to somebody externally. It's not external people's. You don't have to give away your power to other people and only allowing yourself to own your sacred self if somebody else says that you're sacred. You're sacred regardless. Okay, you are sacred regardless. It's just that you're just disconnected from it. It's not something that you have to earn. It's not something that you have to be. You already are sacred. You already are sacred already. It's just that you need to find a way to connect to it. So give yourself permission to pause and think about, what are the things that are allowing me to feel disconnected from who I am, to be disconnected from my sacredness. One of the things that I really found quite powerful actually when I was off was giving myself permission to rest and have unstructured time. And that was one of the things that really allowed me to recognize that, who I'm being. We all have different identities. I have my identity as a therapist. I'm also a parent, but I'm also, a woman that wants to do other things, that wants to be creative, that wants to sleep, that wants to be playful and all of that stuff. And, one of the reasons that I really wanted to take a break was so that I could really look and see, well, how balanced are all of these things? Am I really giving all the different parts of myself, an opportunity to be seen and heard? And I recognize that sometimes it's way out of balance. Sometimes it's way out of balance. And that's the reason why taking a break, giving yourself permission to pause, whether it's, it doesn't have to be a long-term thing. It can just be something that you do, that you do on a daily basis in meditation and prayer. It might be you give yourself 15 minutes in the morning and just check in with yourself. Who am I being at the moment? Who am I being at the moment? Am I really the person that am I really the woman that I really want to be? Am I really the person that I really want to be right now? Okay? So after you've asked yourself, who are you being now? Who are you right now? You need to then ask yourself, well, who do you want to be? If you're not happy with who you are right now and where you are right now, who do you want to be? What's possible? What is possible? Okay? And what are the distractions that are keeping you from being that person? The sacred part of you that's in the future, okay, you need to find ways to bring that future self into the now. Because like I said, it's not your sacred self is not in the future in that, and I'm sort of contradicting myself a bit, but I'm trying to use that as a way to kind of help you to understand that when you're disconnected, okay, when you're disconnected, your sacred self can feel like it's over there, like it's like it only belongs to somebody else or someplace else, or you know, you keep telling yourself, well, you know, if I do this or if I have that, then I'll start loving on myself a bit more. I'm going to keep battering myself, I'm going to keep doing this, that and the other to myself, you know, because I don't deserve to feel sacred, to honor my sacredness, or I don't feel sacred because I haven't got A, B, and C. No, you are sacred now already. You are sacred now already. You're just disconnected, and you need to remember who you are. You need to remember who you are. So that future self, okay, or you asking yourself who you want to be, is already inside you. You just need to ignite it. You just need to find the people, places, and things that are going to help you to ignite it. Okay, that's what's really important. So your future self is not really your future self. Your future self is not really your future self. Your future self is already within you. You just need to reconnect to it and allow yourself to allow it to come out. And sometimes that can feel quite scary. If you're used to feeling disconnected, then it's going to feel uncomfortable for you to start thinking about, you know, who you really want to be. To think about stepping into that sacred space can feel very scary because a lot of times, a lot of people around us don't want us to step into that sacred space. A lot of people that are around us don't want us to step into that sacred space because it does something for them. It triggers shame in them. It makes them have to think, oh, well, you know, she thinks she's this and she thinks she's that. Instead of thinking, oh, okay, well, how can I also step into my sacred space? A lot of people will feel threatened by that, by you stepping into your sacred space, and try and find ways to get you to dumb that down. Trying to get you to dumb it down, and they might try and shame you. They might try and, oh, well, who do you think you are, type of thing. And really, it's about their own self-worth. It's their own low self-esteem, because they don't yet have the tools, they don't yet have the courage or the hope to actually step in their own sacredness. So they don't want you to have yours. They don't want you to step into your own sacredness. So when you're thinking about the sacred being that you really want to step into, that conversation about what's going on in your world, what's going on in your circle, okay, that's inevitable. And sometimes you'll lose people. Sometimes you have to let people go because they're holding you back. And you know that you're not happy in the place where you are at the moment, but you're also scared of stepping into the sacredness because you think, well, you know, although I want to step into the sacredness, I also don't want to I don't want to lose my friends. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to end those friendships. It might be that you just reframe the relationship. Maybe you don't see them as often. Maybe you don't talk about certain things that you used to because maybe they don't understand. Something that I've recognized in I do a lot of business coaching as well. I work with black women in leadership positions, and who work in corporate companies and stuff like that. And one of the things that I see a lot is that a lot of them are sometimes afraid to really shine and to really show up as black women because they're afraid that people are going to start shaming them, or they just find it really, really hard to kind of really step fully into their sacredness, into their own brilliance, because they're afraid of what other people are going to say, or they're afraid of being judged by white people, or they're afraid of being judged by other women of color, or other black people. So there's an element of, yes, they're doing the work that they're doing, but there's also an element of them being afraid to really fully step into it. And they're also being afraid of being, you know, stereotyped as well. They're afraid of being stereotyped. And a lot of them are holding, a lot of the black women that I work with, they hold a lot of pain around the responsibility of yes, I'm a black woman in this position. Yes, I'm a black woman with, in a position of authority, but they also feel a huge responsibility around the perfectionism that comes with that, because they worry about, the black women and the women of color that are going to be coming behind them. And so that becomes a very painful place for them to be. So there's kind of like there's a spectrum there. Either there's women that are hiding and they're afraid to actually stand in their greatness, or they're standing in their greatness but also holding the huge weight of responsibility of what it means to be a black woman or a woman of color in white spaces, and feeling the responsibility that comes with that and the weight of that. And I've had to remind them that they can't hold all of that. You can't be responsible for everybody else. You have to allow other people to take responsibility for themselves. We can't always hold responsibility for everybody else. Sometimes you just have to let things land where they land. Sometimes you have to let other people crash and burn in their own dysfunction, because it ain't your responsibility, and you can't always take it on. You can't take on other people's stuff. You have to understand what your own limits are. You have to be willing to really own what your own limits are, and allow other people to have their own stuff. They've got their own sacredness that they need to connect with. That's not always your responsibility. And this is one of the reasons why some of us are so exhausted, and again disconnected from our sacredness, because we can't hear anything. We can't hear anything that our sacred self, that sacred part of us is trying to guide it. We can't hear we can't be guided by that part of ourselves, because we're in survival mode. You can't get any sacred downloads. It's hard to be creative. It's hard to really support other people if you're absolutely exhausted and burnt out. It's impossible. And we know this intellectually, but there's still so many of us that find it so hard to actually execute having more rest. And your sacred self is not going to come forth. Your sacred self is not going to bloom. Your sacred self is not going to blossom if we're in a constant state of overwhelm and exhaustion and burnout. So you have to make the time. There's no magic wand. You have to take the time out. You have to take the time out, and maybe you start small. Maybe you can't take 2 weeks off at the moment because you've got a lot going on. But you can start small. You can start with giving yourself 15 minutes in the morning, or walk around the block for 10 minutes. Go and talk to your ancestors, talk to your higher power, talk to that sacred part of yourself. Walk around the block and talk to that. You need to find pockets of being able to do that, because it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. When I took the 2 weeks off that I've just taken off, that it was hard. I'm telling you, there was parts where I found it hard. I was like, oh, maybe I'll do this, or maybe I'll just check this out. And I had to keep reminding myself, no, you're not. You're on a break. You're on a break, and so having those boundaries is really, really important. But what was really, really nice about it is, like, coming back this week, I've been feeling so much more present with my clients. I feel like I'm more creative. I'm getting more ideas about stuff. I feel I've got more energy. I feel more connected to that sacred part of myself, which is going to have an impact on how I show up. It's going to have an impact on how I show up on these live streams. It's going to have an impact on how I show up with my clients. I've got more to give. I've got more to give because I'm first nourishing myself. I'm nourishing my own soul first. In a few minutes, in like 20 minutes, I'm going to be doing the next module of my business school. Yeah, I run a business school for black therapists that want to set up in private practice. And today's module is about, we're starting the module on foundations and money moves, how to set up all your back end systems and stuff like that. And I'm ready for it. I'm ready to give. I'm ready to serve, and I can show up in a really powerful way because I know who I am, and I'm going to be delivering the workshop. I'm going to be delivering the session from my sacred self, not my burnt out, tired self. Okay, it's important for us to really get honest about these things, because one of the things that I also recognize is there can sometimes be a a disconnect or a misunderstanding between what you've internalized externally, okay, what you've internalized externally about what you believe about your own sacredness, and how you actually treat yourself as a sacred being. They're two very different things. They're two very, very different things. And sometimes the reason that we get burnt out is because we don't always understand how much of that stuff that we're putting on ourselves. There's stuff that people will put onto us. There's going to be stereotypes about the black woman being Wonder Woman, and yeah, black women can do this and all, and we can't control that. We can put boundaries in place and say, actually, no, I'm not doing that. But your power, okay, your true power is understanding the pressures and the perfectionism and stuff that you put on yourself. So you need to ask yourself those questions. What am I putting on what belongs to me? What pressure am I putting on myself? Okay? And what pressure comes from external, from other people? Because the minute you start to figure out what belongs to who and what's yours and what belongs to other people, you can start to reevaluate and reframe how you're showing up, and you know, the the time stuff, you know, the stuff that you're putting on yourself, and the stuff that other people are putting on you. You can start to think, okay, well, I'm putting that on myself. I'm going to change that in my calendar. I'm going to reframe my thinking about this part, because this ain't got nothing to do with me. That's somebody else putting that on me. They ain't got nothing to do with me. Okay? You are already sacred. Okay? And you've got to reconnect with that part of yourself and start treating yourself like the sacred being that you are. You are already sacred. Okay? You are already sacred. With the Christmas and stuff coming up around the corner, I know that in the States you've had the Thanksgiving. There's a lot of expectations what people have. Oh, you have to do this. Oh, you have to come here. Oh, you have to come and sit with this person. Oh, you have to come and talk to that family member. Oh, your friend is asking you to come over here. Oh, you have to spend that amount on presents. Oh, you have to do. It's a lot of have tos and shoulds and I need to, and it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. Okay? When you're tapped into your sacred self, you can ask yourself honestly, do I really want to be doing all of this? Do I really want to be spending this money? Do I really want to spend time with this person or that person that's been really getting on my nerves? The truth is, you probably don't want to spend time with those people that are getting on your nerves, but you feel obligated to. If you find Christmas and the seasonal time, this time of year, really difficult and really painful, whether you've got challenges in your family, whether you've got challenges with friendships or whatever it is, or at work, if you live in London, come to the event that I'm going to be doing next Saturday in person, the Heal and Chill session, where we are going to be talking about, or I'm going to be showing you how to actually create a plan for yourself over the festive period that actually includes your needs. And then in the afternoon, you have time to chill. We can play, we can talk. There's going to be really nice music. There'll be snacks, you know, and there'll be games that we'll be playing as well, old retro games. If you're available, come down next Saturday and allow yourself to just give yourself permission to include your needs around what's going to be happening over the next few weeks. If you don't live in London and you can't make it to that session, you can join the Sacred Sister Sanctuary. Okay, there's an online session that I'm going to be doing next Tuesday evening. Okay, I think it's 7 p.m. I believe 7 p.m. London time. We're going to be talking about unity and sisterhood, and you can also get current. So if you've got stuff going on with your Christmas or whatever that's getting on your nerves, or whatever you're finding it hard, you can get current and share in that space as well. Okay, any of those things, you can click the link in my bio, go to heal.juneallen.net. That's heal.juneallen.net. That's heal.juneallen.net. Okay, you are sacred. Okay, I'm going to leave you with some. I've got 5 affirmations for you that I want to leave you with before I go, because I need to prepare for my my business school classes happening at noon. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with these 5 affirmations. Okay, I am a sacred being. Okay, I am a sacred being. My voice matters. My voice matters. I embrace my uniqueness. I embrace my uniqueness. I am worthy of care. I am worthy of care. I am a sacred masterpiece. Okay? I am a sacred masterpiece. Yes, you are. You are a sacred masterpiece. Okay? I'm going to leave you with those. Okay? If you know someone that's struggling at the moment and needs support, that needs to be reminded that they are sacred, share this with them, tag them, okay? Email them. If you're interested in joining me for any of the events that I've spoken to you about today, then obviously you can click the link in my bio and you can join me there. If you're looking for one-to-one therapy, okay, or business coaching or anything like that, again, you can find all of the details for all of those things in the link in my bio. If you've got any questions or anything that I've shared today, any questions about anything that I've shared today, if you've got any feedback or anything that you want to share, then you can send me a DM or you can email me info@yardofgreatness.com. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to be on tomorrow as well. I'm going to be doing another live stream tomorrow. All right, so take care of yourself and remember that you are sacred, and I'll see you next time. All right, thanks for joining me and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.